That's right, and we're back. It's the Wednesday night show live on Chicano Tube. Beautiful Linda Raza, do me a favor, man. Hit that pinchy like button. That's all I ask. We got a lot to get into, but you already know what it is. Let's go ahead and go through the formalities. That way we can get into everything we're going to get into tonight. I'm also going to put up the phone number in case anyone wants to call in. I've been forgetting to put up the pinchy number, but I'm going to put up the phone number tonight. We'll take some phone calls. Let's go through those formalities again. Gracias all the day oneers. Gracias inside everyone, inside the members only. Today, the members only got My Chicano Part 13. Slowly but surely, it's moving across. So shout out to the members only. Something 99 every single month, man. I appreciate you guys more than you know. What it is it empowers the message, which is Dios, familia, y cultura. We're going to get this thing right, ¿verdad? So I appreciate the members only. And again, to all the pages that support your boy, gracias to you. I highly appreciate it. Let me go ahead and acknowledge some of the comments. So we got Daniel Gonzalez. I appreciate you, cabron. That's right, man. Gracias for tuning in. Death Row, I see you, my boy. Al Red Dog. That's right, cabron. I appreciate you, Al Red Dog. And the Everlasting Bass. That's right, my boy. JC, Carlos, Richie Lokes. It's Wednesday night. It's the Wednesday night show. We got a lot to get into. Let's go ahead and get into it. But again, I appreciate your time. I appreciate we made it halfway through the week, cabrones. Keep chambeando, keep echándole ganas. Don't do like the internet says and wake up at 5 o'clock and splash your face in some ice and all this other mamadas. You don't need none of that. All you need is to get up, work hard, put bacon on the table, provide for your families. That's all we got to do, right? So let me go ahead and bring up what we're going to be talking about tonight. Let's go ahead and do it. Let me see. Don't forget to hit that like. I'll put up the phone number right now. And in that way, here it is. Ándale. I'll put up the phone number before I forget, cabrones, in case you guys want to call in. I even forget the number. There it is, 831-240-4328. Let's go ahead and get into it right now without any further to do. Yeah. All right, here it is. First thing I want to go ahead and bring up is, oh my gosh, did you see this? Now, it always takes just one thing to ruin everything a todos. And I know I don't agree with mass punishment. I really don't. I think everyone is accountable for their own actions. But this cabron right here is probably going to be the most hated inmate if they end up snatching away all of the family visits. But here we go right here. Mule Creek Light, well, that tells you everything. He was over there with Bud Light and with Gunther. Mule Creek Lifer, who is infamous for his dangerous aggression. Can you believe this, man? Unalives his wife during a conjugal. I just want to make sure you guys can see it. Oh, yeah. Unalives his wife during a conjugal visit, a privilege that many fought against due to incidents like this. Who fought for it to get it back? They snatched it away from the lifers. I don't remember exactly what year they snatched away the family visits from the lifers, but family visits is a privilege. We got too much entitlement in this pinchy country nowadays. Entitlement is running rampant everywhere, right? Kind of like, I don't want to get into immigration right now, but it's kind of like immigration, right? What other country do you think you and me, we have the right to enter, to be a citizen, and to demand anything that we want? What other country? But it's funny, in the United States, many people feel like that. Or am I lying? It's a lot of entitlement. So it's a privilege, a family visit. Why? Because this thing could be like CCOT. No joke. Some real hard time. But they're giving you family visits so you could escape reality for a little bit and end up being with the familia for a little bit. But oh no, look at this pendejo who he kind of looks like X-rated. It says right here, he might have ruined it for the rest of the lifers trying to see their wives. I mean, how about just take away the conjugal visits from the PC yards? I mean, I don't know, or the most aggressive ones, the cabrones that got stabbing after stabbing after stabbing, because they took it away already once, and it was for violent offenders. They just took it away. They didn't want them. They didn't want to put anyone else at risk inside the institution itself. But they got him back. But then in this incident right here, this is from Felony Cloud too. If I didn't shout out to Felony Cloud. We got a lot to talk about, man. I'm gonna try to go through everything as concisely as possible. But I wanted to bring this up because there's a lot of people behind the wall that still disfrutan de estas visitas. But you got this wannabe, shot out, X-rated looking cabron that unalived his beautiful wife. You could see her right there at a family visit. What I think is going to happen is yank him. Well, Mikey, I don't know. No, check this out. It's the same thing as closing the border. One life is too many lives. If it's a law that can save one life, that person's life is forever grateful. If that law would have been still in effect, this lady right here still would have been breathing, still would have been walking, and still would have been alive to this day. But anyways, this cabron gets the pendejo of the week award. Let's keep it moving. One pendejo after another. That's right, cabron. Daniel Barry Sports. That's right. Baby Love Substance. I appreciate you, amiga. That's right, Richie Lokes. And then we got Droops in the casa. That's right. Eastside Sanjo's been in the building. Bay Area super fans. I see you, my boy. They're really cleaning up LA before the 2028 Olympics. I mean, I'm not saying LA has a lot to clean up. There ain't no San Francisco, cabron. I'll tell you that. The homeless problem has been rampant in LA because, of course, LA, it's a blue city. Let's just say that. Even though, of course, they got Nathan Hochman. He's a red conservative DA. We are going to talk about him tonight because the death penalty is back on the table now with Nathan Hochman, the new district attorney. But it's those encampments. And so the homeless problem is something we could always spin our wheels on. It's kind of like a hamster wheel way. What are you going to do with them? But they'll clean it up in 2028. Do I think it's going to be some kind of night and day cleanup? I don't know. I really don't know. But let's talk about another story, gente. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to hit that like, man. I appreciate you guys. And if you guys appreciate Chicano Tube, hit that like. That's all I ask. You could also hit the share button. And if you want to call in, before I say that, make sure the Bluetooth first notifications off. Yeah, that's how you do it. Let me see. All right. I think that did it. Okay. Anyways, all right. Here we go. Gracias again, everyone that's tuning in. The Wednesday night show. And if you're tuning in on IG, I appreciate you, IG Landia. And if you're tuning in on Facebook, do me a favor and just hit that like button one time. If you're listening on the replay, let's go. Here we go. So let's hear some audio. So here is another pendejo of the week candidate. Is it more than one person? All right. So anyway, let's just read the caption. It says, German tourist arrested after scaling historical landmark in Mexico. Mexico, beautiful Mexico. Mexico. And it says the Chichen Itza pyramid during the spring equinox. Now, we know that Mexica just had a new year. I was at the festival. Trip out on that on IG. You can go and see the highlights of the Mexica festival that I went to. Beautiful festival. And they look at all the colors. I mean, everything that they had there was just out of this world, man. It was like a time warp going back to that time, to that heritage, to your heritage. Speaking of that, I also want to mention I got a text message. Let me see. It says, here it is. It says, your DNA is being extracted. My DNA right now is being extracted, right? Because we got too many pendejos on the internet that say one thing and they're not even that. They're a pinche miclo or something. You know what I mean? Your DNA is being extracted. Estimated completion date is April 12th, gente. So what I'm going to do is, I know on April 16th, we got the town hall, which is already halfway booked. Shout out to the people. All new faces as of right now. And I'm probably going to bring back some return people, the most popular requested people. I'm going to do a live with science teacher, gente. He's an actual science teacher. We've already talked. He's an actual science teacher in Salinas, and he could break down DNA like a mofo. Okay. So I'm going to bring science teacher on the show, and then we'll be able to look at Mikey's DNA. Am I a Miklo? Am I a Güero? Am I a Russo? Am I a Aliman? No, I'm just joking, man. You know, we're joking around. But anyways, that'll happen. Let's do it maybe before, but I doubt it. Most likely it'll be after we do the April town hall. Here we go. So it says Florida Fool Stats. Among the thousands of tourists, let's read the article or the caption. Among the thousands of tourists from around the world flocking to Chichen Itza for the spring equinox, 2 decided to break the rules by climbing the iconic temple of Kukulkan. On Thursday, in separate incidents, 2 foreign tourists evaded security and scaled the pyramid, also known as El Castillo. Okay, the pyramid is known as El Castillo, but El Castillo is a Spanish word, right? Castle, maybe that's the Spanish see it as a castle, but we know it's basically it's a templo, right, for the indigenous people, also known as El Castillo. One of the offenders, a 38-year-old German, was confronted by the crowd and received a chingazo to the forehead that drew sangre. Witnesses said, damn. So the Aleman got a chingazo. And he started bleeding. Apparently, some people were even shouting that he be sacrificed. Why not? If you want to go up there, hey, public service announcement. If you're dumb enough to go to a sacrificial temple and want to go all the way up the stairs to where exactly the sacrifices take place, you're on the menu. How about that? I'm just joking. People were shouting, hey, sacrifice the cabron, an allusion to the human and animal sacrifices the Maya once carried out at the highest point of the pyramid. And we got a couple comments. Look at this one. If my great ancestors that fool Mikey, orale, I'm giving you some clout, cabron. No, he's doing good. He got 3,000 followers. He's doing pretty good. If my great ancestors were there, he'd be immediately sacrificed to Quetzalcoatl. No joke. No joke. It just further proves the point, gente, that we're in a generation right now that there's no respect for anything. There's absolutely no respect for anything. Matter of fact, speaking about indigenous cultures right here, there's something else that's been going on inside the indigenous culture that's real sacrilegious to them, which is having bones of their relatives being displayed in museums. That's sacrilegious to, at least to the indigenous that I talk to. That's sacrilegious. I'll tell you why. Because there's a proper ceremony in order to let those huesos properly sleep, proper closure, whatever you want to call it, return it back to the tribe, return it back to the family, do the mourning ceremonies. Again, I'm just putting 10 on the 2. I really don't know what they do, but that's sacrilegious as well. People do that. Again, no respect. I don't give a rat's if it's a Smithsonian. I don't care what kind of museum it is, etc. Those bones that belong to indigenous people need to go back to the tribes and go back to the people. That way they can have a proper burial or proper mourning ceremonies or whatever they do. But there is no respect no more. I think more people nowadays do need an ass whooping. This dude one of them got an ass whooping, and I don't know what's going on with the second one that got an ass whooping. But this disrespect right here, it got to stop. But that's just me saying it. Will it stop? Hey, I'm just Chicano Tube. I'm giving you a Raza's point of view. I'm just on YouTube, IG, and Facebook, letting you know what I think. But will it stop? Hell no. Because now we're in a more reckless generation, entitlement, F you, I'll do what I want. I got what I got coming. I see things my way and no way. And these tourists could have got more than a little cachetada like one of the guys got. But that's just my opinion, man. I appreciate you, Droops. That's right. Nino America's in the casa. That's right, cabron. I know you got to do what you got to do, cabron. I appreciate you. Nino America is in the house. Let me see. What's going on with OBS? That's better. My bad. What was going on? Oh, I slipped and hit that. Oh, okay, now I see it. All right. I appreciate you, Nino America. You're going to be seeing Nino America pretty soon back on the platform. I appreciate you, cabron. Hit those oil fields, man. That's some real hard work, man. A lot of people, they don't work that hard, cabron. Guarantee you that. But I appreciate you. ACB Chemistry, that's right, my boy. I appreciate you. All right, let's go ahead and keep it pushing because we got a lot to cover. We're going to get into everything that the caption said. Cain Velasquez, Adam22 getting arrested, Big U extorting street vendors, on and on and on. All right, what's next? All right, let's get into... Yeah, let's talk about Cain, man. Let's talk about Cain. So what was surprising to me is that a lot of people didn't know that Cain was from where I'm from. I don't know why, because they hear, when he got announced as a UFC fighter, as the champion with many, many title defenses. I mean, that Junior Dos Santos trilogy, they had 3 fights, were off the hook, man. No one wanted to fight JDS because he was like a monster you didn't want to meet. O sea, a heavy-handed slugger. First, 15 fights were all knockouts, and then he started contesting over for the title. But Cain is from Salinas. Cain is Mexicano. Cain walked right up to Junior Dos Santos' face and told him, on this canvas, you're falling, pendejo. That takes cajones, güeyes. That takes huevos. Well, he's from Salinas. Now, I went ahead and I posted that because people were like, oh, he's from Arizona. No, oh, he's from San Jose. No, Salinas is a tight-knit city made up of predominantly all families. Everyone knows everyone, or someone that knows someone of a family, etc. And I know that Cain's parents have a house right on the east side. I know Cain's dad drove a tractor, retired from either Bud or Dole for many years. Matter of fact, there's an interview with Cain's dad sitting on a milk crate in the fields and talking about how he came over here from Mexico and all that stuff. And he chose Salinas because of the weather. He said it had the best weather, and he's traveled from the border, Yuma, all the way up the coast. He says Salinas had the best weather. That's why we got all the crops. So anyways, this is one of Cain's boys. And this is Luke Rockhold. He was at one point the middleweight champion of the world. I believe he was also a Strike Force, not just the UFC champion. The new Lions ended up knocking them down. But you know what? Before I bring this up here, I want to go ahead and recap a little bit on this Cain situation. Not only is a lot of people aren't saying it, but yeah, he is from Salinas, so he's from my town. So I know the family. Okay. Families know families, man. Oh, my parents, his parents drink coffee together. What's the big deal? You know what I mean? This is exactly how it should be. People knowing people, a community, right? Not just un pinche montón de gente and then no one knows each other and everyone just gives each other the bird or whatever. No, Salinas is really tight knit, man. There's a lot of families, right? So the situation with Cain and that he got 5 years, I was right again. I was just guessing on my live 2 days ago. I was just guessing. I said 1,200 days credit, 5 with 85% to do. I said by this time next year, he'll be out. And they're already projecting with good behavior, that he'll be out in January. Is that love? Well, I'll tell you what, gente. If Cain Velasquez did what he did in the state of Texas, Cain Velasquez wouldn't have seen a single day behind bars, period. It's crazy how 2 states can see things differently, but that's just the power of the states, right? In Texas, they would have had more compassion and empathy for him based on the crime that was done to him or done to his family. In California, let's keep it a buck. California is a chomo supporting state. California is a pedo supporting state. Why do I know this? Cain Velasquez just got 5 years for going in a rage and trying to hurt a man who they say almost 100 times ended up hurting, and that's a light word, his son. And when he did that to Cain Velasquez's son, the pendejo had an ankle monitor already on his leg from committing the same crime. He's on probation for the same crime. I don't know if he was out on bail for that crime. He had an ankle monitor for that crime, and he continued to do those crimes. And guess where this guy's at? He's at home. He's at home watching Chomo movies, watching Chomo shows. Maybe he's watching Maniaco Minds. I don't know. Now let's bring up Luke Rockhold. All right, here we go. Luke. And he's talking about a presidential pardon too. We'll talk about it right now. Here we go. TMZ TV. I appreciate
more. And brought Usman, all these kids are coming up, man, and it's just the work ethic and everything that we built over there. It's cool to see it live on. But a lot of people are saying, like, glad he didn't do 20, 30 years. I think it's really just comes down to the fact that and this whole system's wrong. He's done his time. He's proved he's not a threat to society. He's done countless things. I've gone with him to a children's hospital to visit kids and see the joy that he brings people. He's the least amount of threat to anybody in this world. The real man that is a threat is a 45-year-old man living on the premise of a preschool. And to think that, this guy isn't convicted and he's released back to that premise, like, it's like everything is just so sick, and the mind will get disturbed. I don't care if he's convicted or not. He shouldn't be allowed to interact with kids on that level. You're talking everything that is wrong with society, and I mean, if there's ever a time for President Trump to step in and serve a real pardon that makes all the sense in the world. I mean, you got Biden out there trying to pardon his son for doing real bad crimes to people. I mean, that don't deserve it. Our situation is somewhat justified.
The MMA community, obviously.
All right, that's Luke Rockhold, the former UFC middleweight champion of the world. Just want to give respect over to one of my other hermanos, Mr. Goyo's in the casa. He's another one from the 831 right here from the soil, cabron. I appreciate you. He says, "Sup, my brown brother, stopping by to show my love and support to you and the familia. And to everyone in the chat, much love and respects, blessing. The Alisal District, Salinas, California is in the house. Yay, yay. I appreciate you, cabron, man. Blessings to the Longoria family. Hey, salúdeme tu carnalito. I see him around town from some time to time. I'm know if you have contact with him. I see him every 10 years. Your carnalito, but salúdame tu carnalito. House of Pain Denver is in the casa. Robert Lucero, that's right, my boy. He said, let's take back our city councils, north and south. I'll tell you what, Salinas, we took back our city council, cabron. Let me go ahead and get this off so I can mention that. When the mayor was here of Salinas, I had the mayor in Salinas, Mayor Dennis Donahue, 2-time mayor, right? I think it's his second or third term, man. When I had him on here, the city council of Salinas was, they ended up getting a lot of radicals. Let's just say that. And some of them were young, right? There was at least 3 radicals that were on that city council. So for a lot of decades, there was a lot of harmony, right? They got a lot accomplished, ended up getting the crime rate down to single percentiles, etc. But there was these 2-3 radicals that got on the council. And every time there was a city council meeting right here in Salinas, these guys, all I see is divisive rhetoric. All I see is this up here. I see racism. I see this and that. And shit didn't get done, and crime started going up. It hit 10% again, it hit 12%, it hit 15%. But sometimes people don't correlate their policies to what happens in the pinche calles. Well, when Mayor Donahue came, it was a power move on the city council of Salinas. Basically, it was like, let's get these 3 pendejos out, because, 2 councilmen retired. They're like, I'm done. Councilman McShane, he's like, I'm done. I got my nurseries. I got my businesses. I'm done. Councilman Scott, who's a sheriff of Monterey County, he's still here. He's like, I'm done with the city council. These cabrones right here, all they want to do is fight, not get anything done. When you tell them how you're going to achieve anything, accomplish anything, they don't have a plan. They just want to say racist, racist, racist. So they ended up doing a power move at the city council of Salinas. All 3 of them got their seats replaced. And then the mayor, Kimberly Craig, the first female mayor of Salinas, she had it up to acá, and she was out and said, I'm not running anymore. But passed the baton on. Mayor Donahue got her endorsement and got the Salinas Police Activities League, the Salinas Police endorsement, the law enforcement endorsement. I told Mayor Donahue when he came on the podcast, I said, that's a wrap. Cabron, you weren't going to, no one was going to contest you. You got in here, and now Salinas is doing bigthings.com. Construction is happening. The Alisal district, shout out to Goyo, is looking more vibrant. The streets are better. The streets are cleaner. There's new light poles going up. A lot of murals going on with the Alisal Arts Project. So we're flourishing. We're booming, but I appreciate you. All right, let's keep it moving, cabrones. A lot to talk about, man. A lot. All right, we're going to get to the Adam22. Calma said we're going to get to the Adam22. We're going to get to the death penalty with VinnyJim and all that stuff, okay? I'm just going one by one, okay? How about this? Let's talk about it. I know sometimes it triggers people. The president triggers people. People get mad and they want to start banging and all this other shit, which is, it's crazy to me, but it is what it is, right? Timo DeVille, that's right. I see you, my boy. Robert Lucero, 0 point. That's right. Don't retract the message, cabrón. Leave it. Warzone Boxing Club, mi hermano, is in the casa. Coach Al has one of the biggest corazones. Coach Mike, Coach, what was it? Cuss. I don't even know his real name, cabrón. Pinche Coach Al. Coach Cuss Diamato that helped us out. I appreciate your help. I ended up giving Coach Al, he got the official poster for the Paradigm versus Mile High Hustle fight. Hung it up right there as I was leaving, threw it up on the wall. I appreciate you, Cole, child. All right, let's get into this, man. Something that's going to save people money. Common sense says if you're getting money, you're saving money, it's a good thing, right? But the same cabrones that were for climate change, everyone needs to buy an electric vehicle, are the same cabrones that are lighting all the electric vehicles on fire now. The hypocrisy is probably why I think there's going to be another whole red wave in 2028. And if their best candidate is AOC, there's so much ammo on that one. It's not even funny. What about the fake the fake photo at a chain link fence crying, but someone has the photo of the real parking lot where it actually took place and not the border. But anyways, there's a lot of ammo there. Or Bernie Sanders, bring him on too if they want. I mean, whatever. That's 2028. We're going to talk about that, okay? No politics except for this. How about if you make less than $150,000? Less than $150,000. Trump aims to eliminate federal income taxes for anyone earning less than $150,000. Here's what it says. This could be a massive win for middle-class Americans. Trump has announced plans to eliminate only the federal, it's not the state, right? Because remember, the states have independent power. A lot of the women that are just speaking out of the side, don't get this the wrong way, but out of the sides of their necks and not even doing any kind of research, they're the ones that wanted Harris to come in because they thought a man was going to do some nationwide ban on you know what, matando los niños en el estómago. Not even realizing that that's too much power. They never gave that power to any president. They never will give that power to any president. So the states have that power. So si quieres, if you want to matar todos tus babies, go to a state that'll help you do it. They'll give you the money. They'll put you up. They'll help you do it. But don't get mad because there's a state that wants babies to live and would rather you have the baby and give it up for adoption, have the baby, give it up to a foster child, because you never know who you're unaliving. I'm just going to keep it buck, and I'm going to move on because I really don't think men have too much of a leg to stand on when it comes to this. But ultimately, men do govern most of the laws in this country. You never know when you're unaliving the next governor. You never know when you're unaliving the next president of the United States. You never know when you're unaliving the next genius scientist that's going to make a revolutionary, evolutionary discovery for humanity. But you decided because I had unprotected sex and you want to. Anyways, that's enough. I got to move on. Shit, man. That's another rabbit hole. We're not going to go down that one. Here's why this matters. Check number one. More take-home pay. If you're making under $150,000, that means you'd keep. Trip out, gente. If you're making less than $150,000, and that is a lot of middle-class Americans, a lot. That could be a huge percentage of the pie chart, right? If you're making under that, that means you'd keep 100% of your paycheck after deductions. Imagine the difference that would make your lifestyle, savings, and investments. Here's another positive to this. Boost to small business and the economy. With more disposable income, people would spend more, invest more, and fuel economic growth. More cash in people's pockets means more demand for products and services, which benefits businesses of all sizes, gente. Less IRS headache and encourages more investment and wealth building. Now, people are going to call this a myth, right? Well, we can't do that. Basically, DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, the new department, it's basically an audit department. That's what it is. It's an audit department. The people that I have done business with on the highest level of ethics. I'm going to say that again because it goes over some people's heads. People that operate businesses or operate as professionals on the highest level of ethics are pro-transparency and don't mind any kind of audit coming down the pipe. Not at all. So it's funny when the people are screaming about Doge, stop them, stop Musk, stop this. You know what I realized? I realized there are some politicians that are going to make a game out of this every single 4 years. Let me explain. Okay, you make a game out of what, Mikey? What are you talking about make a game out of? There's some politicians that because you didn't vote for them, they are going to destroy everything around you and then come back to you after destroying everything around you and then come back to you and say, vote for us. We'll make the change happen. That's a goddamn shame. There's politicians like that. You didn't vote for them? They'll destroy everything, so that's all you'll talk about. All you're doing is sharing propaganda. The end of the world, share. The end of the world, share. Collapsing economy, share. Racism at an all-time high, share. Vote for us. We'll make the change happen. And they're the cabrones that funded all the protests. What happened to all the protests? They only wanted to put a couple $1 million into it. Why not run them for 4 years? The gullible will fall into it and start arguing in boxes and start, no, you were doing this, you're doing that, while the rest of us are enjoying record economies, record stock markets getting broken, record low unemployment, and more money in our pockets, more red tape, more businesses opening up. Me, I'm selling more houses, and life is good. But I get it. Some people aren't into capitalism. There's only two ways to do it, gente. You're either going to have free enterprise or you're not. I understand. People are going to want to go back to maybe certain days, certain times, certain eras. That's great, man. I'm all for that, man. Live it, too, if you want. Live off the grid. Practice what you preach. Live off the grid. No internet. Pinche unos palitos to make your campfire. That's fine, man. But that doesn't pertain to 2025 and where we're at right now. What we need to do right now, young men, you need to get that bag. Parents, you need to educate your children. Don't let these schools indoctrinate and teach your children on what you need to teach them. The bad thing about Mexicans is that we don't sit down with our children and we don't show them enough affection. I said this time and time again. Not one time did my father ever hug me. Not once. Not one time did my father ever tell me he was proud of me. Not one time did he ever hug me. Not one time did he ever encourage me. Only time he spoke to me was to point out the negative. I don't hold that against him, but I do know that's part of the Mexican culture. I mean, we see videos about it and we laugh, right? When we see the mom, has the son and feeding him in the mouth and toda la chingada. Giving the son comida in his mouth. And the three daughters, Ama, ¿y nosotros qué? Pues cocina, huevonas. Mexican culture, certain stigmas that we gotta break, man. Droop says in Pelosi, you just named the queen of insider trading, man. Did you know Pelosi dumped millions of dollars into Zoom in February before COVID? Millions of dollars into Zoom before COVID. How do people with $200,000 salaries end up retiring multi-millionaires? I could bring up a list of all the money they sent their friends, and they send it to their friends. That's what they're mad about. That's what they're screaming about. They're screaming about the Christmas kickbacks are getting stopped. All right, let's keep it pushing. All right. Might as well, man, let's stay on politics a little bit before we get into cheese, man. Adam22. I also want to talk about hood stocks, something Food Community put out there, etc. Nah, I'm not gonna get into that one. Well, it is one example. I guess it's
environmental, and nobody knows what she was doing. But $2 billion. If you get 2 million, that's a lot. Where Stacey Abrams got $2 billion just before we took over, and it was a rush to get her the money, and that was environmental, and nobody knows what she was doing. But $2 billion. If you got 2 million, that's a lot. If you got 200,000, that's a lot. But this was $2 billion was given. Lee, do you want to talk about that? And the other one that was even worse.
EPA has now canceled over $22 billion worth of contracts. $2 billion going to this NGO that Stacey Abrams was tied to. They received only $100 in 2023. And then the Biden administration gave them $2 billion. The director of the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund saw his former employer get $5 billion. So $20 billion went to just 8 NGOs, and they're all pass-throughs. And then they were giving it to other entities. Many of them were pass-throughs. And what you have is all these extra middlemen, they're taking their cut. And the taxpayer ends up getting screwed. They're losing out on all this hard-earned money. They can't afford to have the federal government waste. The partnership with Doge and Elon Musk has been incredible at EPA. Their team is very talented. We wouldn't have been able to do it without them. And of course, this mandate.
Exactly what I was talking about. But the list goes on and on and on. So my bad. This is what I'm talking about. The list goes on and on as far as the mismanagement of money. But I know people are going to be, but Mikey, they're güeros, they're gabachos, they're this, they're that. Gente, it's a two-party system, whether you like it or not. You can vote Tea Party or Libertarian, that's fine, but the vote's not going to move the needle at all. It's a two-party system. All you got to do is, at the end of the day, choose the lesser of the two evils. That's it. That's all you got to do at the end of the day. For people to say, oh, Mikey's pushing this. I'm pushing the truth. I don't care. The raza down in the barrios, the raza down in the communities, the ones that the las mujeres that I talked to that had to work 3 jobs, the single moms that had to work 3 jobs just to make ends meet. They're happy that the price of eggs are going down. They're happy that the price of milk is going down. They're happy that all of this money is finally getting discovered that was mismanaged. But sometimes we're so blinded by our political party. It's blue no matter who. It's red, and I don't got a good rhyme for red, but anyways. It's blue no matter who, and all these other things. Red, blue, red, blue. It's like gangbanging. We need to stop that. We need to stop that. Well, Mikey, you don't give a shit about politics anyway. Stop coming on the internet acting like all of a sudden you're this meme humanitarian. All of a sudden you're this internet activist. Who gives a shit? You don't give a shit. Just like the people that don't pay taxes, they don't give a shit. They're on unemployment. They're on EDD. They're not working. They're still milking the system. Those are the main people that comment thumbs down, thumbs down, thumbs down. So again, just recognize game when you see that shit on the internet, right? Recognize it. Hold on, where did it go? Ándale. I'm like, what happened, cabron? All right, here we go. Ooh, we're just talking about this. Here we go. Nathan Hochman. Here we go. The new district attorney of Los Angeles. Shout out to American Cholo. He had him on. Of course, we know American Cholo leans more conservative, just like I do. I lean way more conservative just because I do believe in some of those core principles. God, absolutely God. We're not, the raza don't want you to take God out of everything. Kind of pendejo is that? Imagine telling that to your abuelitos. So when you're like, oh, I'm brown, I'm down, I'm brown and all that, you don't have the balls to tell your abuelitos that you want God to get taken out of everything in your life, would you? You would be a pendejo if you did that. Anyways, here we go. Nathan Hochman is putting the death penalty back on the table. Now, this is a little bit controversial, right? Especially for Christians, right? Well, no, I'm gonna leave it on. Let me just make myself a little bit bigger. This is a little bit controversial for Christians, right? Because people that know a little bit of the Bible to throw it at a Christian, right? Well, vengeance is the Lord's. Yeah, absolutely. It does say that. Well, who are you to judge? Yeah, absolutely. It does say that, right? There's some situations, though, like those pendejos that do matan una pinche escuela, man. Blow up a pinche concert auditorium full of people. Matan miles y miles de people on some kind of pinche cosa terrorista o algo así, ¿verdad? You could say those people, you could say taking those people's wind is the least that you could do. There's some people that'll say that, but let's hear what Nathan Hochman has to say. Hochman.
Cases will be pursued only after an extensive and comprehensive review and only in exceedingly rare cases. This new policy recognizes an evolving determination that the death penalty should be restricted to the most egregious sets of circumstances.
It's like a Sandy Hook where 22 kindergartners are being killed, or a Vegas situation where 56 people are being gunned down, or if they put a bomb in SoFi Stadium taking out thousands. In those situations, the death penalty will be on the table for consideration, but it goes through the most intense consideration in a DA's office.
Capital punishment is still the law in California. There have been several ballot measures to abolish it over the past dozen years. All have failed. Despite that, the previous DA, George Gascon, called the practice part of the outdated mode of criminal justice.
The death penalty is morally dubious at best, and it is time to end it.
And in all practicality, it has ended, at least for now. That's because Governor Gavin Newsom, after first saying he would respect the death penalty law, in 2019 reversed course, dismantling the execution chamber at San Quentin Prison and announcing that he would commute any death penalty sentence to life in prison.
To me, this is the right thing to do.
Among the issues in the 2024 campaign, there was this on the matter of capital punishment.
As long as the death penalty is on the books, it will be on the table for consideration.
Making good on that promise, today, Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman announced he's rescinding the previous DA's policy, which had forbidden prosecutors from seeking capital punishment for convicted killers. In a statement, Hochman writing that death penalty cases will be pursued only after an extensive and comprehensive review and only in exceedingly rare cases. This new policy recognizes an evolving determination that the death penalty should be restricted to the most egregious sets of circumstances.
All right. Nathan Hochman, he's the new district attorney over there in LA. LA, you got a district attorney that's pretty tough on crime. Historically, tough on crime district attorneys have helped lower the crime rate in their cities. But I understand there's different perspectives, different approaches. Some people believe you should just get all the criminals, put them in a country club, let them play racquetball, let them play bocce ball, let them have swimming pools and bowling, hug them, give them safe spaces, and nurture them. And that will erase the 10 bodies that they took. You know, or like they do for chomos. We know we're in California. We're a chomo-loving state, okay? And so what they do with them is they slap them on the hand, just like in the instance of Cain. He's still out after touching several kids, having an ankle monitor, and violating that. Guess what the district attorney of Santa Clara saw when she saw that man who has multiple touching children, has an ankle monitor, and he did that up to 100 times with Cain Velasquez's son. Guess what the district attorney did to that? Probably went and gave him a hug. No, serio. I mean, you think I'm bullshitting. You think I'm just trying to be. That's exactly how some people see it. Now, Miss Piggy, Miss Gangster Piggy, I want to read her comment. It's right here at the bottom. Come on, you can't see it all, amiga. Oh, it's because of the crop. There it is. Ms. Gangster Piggy, let me read this. It says, I do not believe in the death penalty. I don't believe two wrongs make a right. But go ahead and keep that ass locked up. I see where you're coming from, amiga. I see where you're coming from. It's one of those things of trying to put someone, ending someone's life in the hands of another human being. Maybe you see it that way. Or maybe it's affected you directly, amiga. Maybe it's affected your family. If it has, I respected absolutely everything that you said. With me, I see things a little bit more like Nathan Hochman says. But at the end of the day, I'm just glad I'm not the one sitting on that chair having to make that call. I'm not going to sit in front of the judgment seat of Christ and have to respond for that. I'll have to respond for everything else, even though there's no condemnation anymore. Once you get in Christ Jesus, there's no more judgment. But I'm glad I just don't have to make that call. Speaking of that, I just remembered today I was texting with Pastor David Rocha back and forth. He's gonna be coming on in May, primeramente Dios, for a Bible talk. And another pastor, this is a pastor of mine here in Celebration Church in Salinas, Pastor Tony Pena. Pastor Tony Pena, I just invited him over for a Bible talk this last Sunday when I saw him at church. So we're going to get those up and going. I say at least quarterly for now. And if it gets numbers like the town hall numbers, well, we got like 550 in live viewers. We got like over 1,000 comments on the town hall. That was the record. 550 is also the record on lives, and 1,015 comments is the record. If we get that kind of feedback, we'll do more Bible talks. Because a lot of people do want to get inside the word, right? There's certain topics they want to talk about, etc. People want to talk about biology and other things. Well, that's great, man. We could talk about each and every single one of those things, right? Anyways, I appreciate you. That's right. Estilo Delfino. That's right. My boy, I appreciate you. He says, Sir Dino is a blessing. You know what he says? They keep calling him that. And he doesn't care, man. He doesn't care that they call him that. Now, I'll put this out there, but I'll drop the video on the members only. I was in the studio in Salinas when Drew Lowdown, and I forget the other partner's name was there. There was about maybe 8 or 10 of us. Man, they recorded this hot banger. But again, this is back in the 90s. F those who oppose. That was a banger. That was a banger. You know what I mean? But anyways, let's keep it moving, man. That's right, Corridor Security. I appreciate you, my boy. Let's keep it moving, man. Let's keep it. We got a lot to talk about. Should we get into the Cheeseman now? Is it Cheeseman time? Oh, here we go. Where is it at? Dale, cabrones. This is, a lot of people just jump on the internet and they make videos because they're in it for the content, right? So Brick Baby just got stabbed. They drop a video that Brick Baby just got stabbed, and then his wife is on the internet saying that's a lie. But the pendejos want your views, so they're not going to take their videos down, right? Let's go ahead and see this, and we're going to talk about Adam22 was taken into federal custody. My thoughts. Let's go.
Just call my attorney, try to get him down there so Adam don't be doing no telling, bro.
Man, they saying Adam locked up all on the blogs. What's going on?
They came and got him this morning, bro. They doubled back. They came by and we try and have him out because he's supposed to go live today, right?
Yeah, he's supposed to go live at 4 p.m. And the crazy thing is, Adam texted me.
They're going to have him out by like 2:30. If we can get him out by 2:30, he can still make it to the building.
Adam texts me every day, and I ain't heard from him today.
Listen.
All right. That's whack right there. And here's a good comment. 44 Vato says, I'll take things that never happened for 4,400. And then you got Adam22 saying free me. Let's talk about this a little bit. Let's talk about the telling that's been going on. Just like mi hermano Corridor Security alluded to it. I don't even know what to say or what to make of it, man. You got people that are coming on the internet making statements like they know they're making statements. Making statements like it sounds like it's a minute order. It sounds like they're in a courtroom testifying. Now, Adam22, that was all clickbait, gente. My bad. Adam22, he didn't get arrested. Did the feds come and talk to him? I believe they did come and talk to him. But here's the thing. Isn't it suspicious that the day after all of these RICO indictments come down the pipe, people are arrested? You got dudes like Big telling on you, Fed Baby, Loose Lips, and these are internet names that the internet's coming up with, right? They're funny as hell, though. Isn't it a coincidence that the very next day, you got all of the top podcasters coming on a podcast, academics, Whack, Vlad, Adam, Trap Lore. The only thing I do want to just be a little bit cautious with is LA Icon is mixing himself into that group. Yes, he is. LA Icon is mixing himself into that group. I'm no one to tell LA Icon what to do. That's his business. That ain't my business. That's his business, right? But I would not be sitting on the couch when there's allegations of a wiretap inside that studio. I wouldn't be sitting on that couch, at least not during this time right now, right? And then you have another clip that came across my feed, and I'm like, is this really what was happening and people didn't know? This one right here came across my feed, and I was like, well, wait a second. Big U, which was coming off as this rehabilitated man in the community, gang prevention specialist, receiving hundreds of thousands of dollars, receiving all kinds of private donations, 20 racks, 50 racks, 100 racks, LeBron James, Adrian Broner, Wiz Khalifa, all kinds of private donations. But they're saying at the same time, he was extorting the people. Let's hear what this lady had to say.
Like a lot of people, they're happy. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and they're like, we are so happy that he went to jail. I mean, this morning someone reached out to me and told me that he was extorting the food vendors. And I'm like, what? They were like, yes, he was extorting the food vendors at Crenshaw High. And I'm like, God damn, like he just extorted the whole city. So yeah, I think a lot of people are happy.
There's talk about Big U that he was involved in Nipsey Hussle's death. I mean, have you seen any proof that would confirm that?
I don't want to hear some, no disrespect, some chick on the street drinking a frap talking about Nipsey Hussle. We don't know that. We're not going to say something that we don't know. Obviously, Loose Cannon. Now, Loose Lips. Let's call him Loose Lips. Loose Lips, he's a little bit slow, gente. I don't know if you knew this, but he's a little bit slow. I don't know if you picked up, kind of like Crip Mac. He's a little bit slow, kind of like Ryder G. Just a little bit slow. Not the sharpest tools in the shed, right? But Loose Lips actually said that Big U called him 30 minutes before Nipsey died. This is what Loose Lips said. He called Big U 30 minutes before Nipsey died, and Loose Lips called Nipsey and didn't say anything to him because he thought he was just BSing, like they joke around or etc. And then he gets the call that Eric Holder did what he did to Nipsey Hussle in that parking lot. So again, right now, Big U, all eyes, the RICO Act is on him. Right now, they're saying if he were to get sentenced right now, he's got about 200 years coming. Being 60 years old, he's going to pass away inside a facility, probably, if he gets all that. Now, Adam, he was clickbaiting, got arrested, and then he probably called Whack, run with it, cabron. We want to break numbers on this 4 p.m. live. And they had a lot of people in that live. I jumped in there for about maybe 5 minutes, and they had almost 20,000 people again, because you got to learn how to make shit hot. Adam is all about the viral moments. And I believe he's also the softest cabron on that couch. That means if they wanted to get anyone to tell about anything, they would go to Adam22. He's not a hardcore gangster. He's not even close to that. He knows that if they threaten to take his whole empire, throw him in a hole and throw the key away from him, he'll sing like a mockingbird. He'll sing and tell it all. So it's funny when he comes on the internet, yeah, they're disrespecting me. Come and say it to my face or whatever he says, right? He gets his little Superman, drinks some little Superman juice and gets pumped up and stuff like that. But we already know, I mean, Game is going to recognize Game on the internet. He ain't going to bust the grape. We already know that. But that Big U was extorting the vendors. I also want to say this because we're living in a time right now where, you know, all of a sudden it's because, again, you got activists, internet activists that never in their motherfucking life were trying to be for la raza, never in their life. And there's like this atmosphere on the internet. Wait a second, what? Brown, you got to back up Brown, the gavachos, the morenos, racism, this and that. It ain't too much reality, I'll tell you that. More of that shit is on the internet. If you want to think that's happening in every corner of the 50 states, it ain't happening like that. But I will say this, Brown is doing it to Brown too. Come on. What happened to the youngster Dumps from Lennox? What happened to Money Sign Suede? Was that another raza that was trying to extort them for money? Or was it their own people? I just want to put the reality of it out there because some people jump on the internet, don't know shit about what's going on in the real world, and assume what's happening on the internet is the real world. Don't get it twisted. It's not the real world. There's fake info. There's misinformation. There's fake numbers. There's people that have agendas. There's people that are sold, vendidos, that people have receipts on them to say what they're going to say, etc. Now, no one, gracias a Dios, has receipts on your boy. I'm going to say what's always la neta. Like it or not, it's la neta. I didn't go to no college. I didn't get indoctrinated. Ain't no one pulling on my strings. I ain't got no mentors that are swaying me, period. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is, man. The raza does it too. In the 90s, we knocked off more paleteros than anyone. We did. You want to fake that funk and then come on the internet and be like, la raza, la raza. No, why don't you tell it like it is? And then la raza will respect you, right? Speaking of la raza, that's a great segue into something I saw on where is it? Here it is. I guess we'll touch on this a little bit. Why not? Here we go. This was shout out to the food community.
And we'll be pro them. But if they're not pro us, then they're not raza.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of these Central Americans and South Americans, when it comes to fighting for your rights, they never stand behind us until it happens to them. Now they want our support and they don't even like beans.
So raza to you is what more the beliefs are, not necessarily the blood running through the veins.
I don't think the blood, we don't even know who we are anyways.
Well, raza is race, right?
Thank you.
You go with your races, right? Like it's tu raza. To me, raza, I mean, fuck, I can't.
Are you raza?
I love using that word. I'm raza if I can relate, right? Like to somebody, but it really should be more about bloodline, right?
Thank
you.
Consider Venezuelans, Salvadorians, and everybody else raza?
Only if they run with our program, meaning like pro us, and we'll be pro them. But if they're not pro us, then they're not raza.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of these Central Americans and South Americans, when it comes to fighting for your rights, they never stand behind us until it happens to them. Now they want our support and they don't even like beans.
So raza to you is what more the beliefs are, not necessarily the blood running through the veins.
I don't think the blood, we don't even know who we are anyways.
Well, raza is race, right?
Thank you.
You go with your race is, right? Like
okay, first thing, I disagree with Prime, and shout out to Prime, man. He liked the video, he liked the reel the other day, so shout out to him. And I think it's called Cultivate Media. I think that's the name of his page. So go ahead and follow that page, man. This is the food community. So shout out to them, etc. But he says we don't even know who we are. Well, I want to disagree with that. I mean, if you're talking about a lot of people are mixed nowadays, well, yeah, absolutely. A lot of people are mixed. Your boy's going to get his DNA in about 3 weeks. I'm going to get my DNA. I'm going to bring science teacher from Salas, and we'll break down my DNA. I know my parents are from Michoacan and Jalisco, and I'm first generation Mexican-American, but I'm going to break that down even further than that, right? So I disagree with them by saying that. And then when the first thing that they say, well, as long as they're with the program, well, that sounds like some gang shit. I mean, the raza, to me, I grew up here in my hometown, Salinas, California. I am not confused one iota. Not 1 second am I confused with the term La Raza. Now, when I started Chicano Tube, people started getting on my bumper, right? I got into it with a couple podcasters because I was letting them know the real on how it is. And because the podcasters weren't Mexican, they had a chip on their shoulder. I know a lot of people want to be Mexican. Okay, I'm not saying that, to boast and brag, but I know they do. Or a lot of people just grew up around Mexicans, so they've adapted that lingo, the estilo, and they've been embraced by the Mexicanos. They've been brought in the fold, right? But one thing that you're not going to be able to change is the blood that's coursing through your veins. In Salinas, we're a farm-working Cesar Chavez city. We're on the corrida run from Salinas to Yuma. We got the Central Coast, which is a salad bowl, which is Salinas, Monterey County, El Condado de Monterrey, and the Central Valley. Both of those areas have the largest demographic of farm workers in the entire world. So if anyone knows what they're talking about, don't you think it should be someone that's been around La Raza? La Raza blasted on murals. La Raza on paintings. La Raza on bridges. La Raza with Cesar Chavez means Mexicans. It means Mexicans. Now, I'm not hijacking the term. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm not telling you I'm the almighty supreme being, ruler of the universe, that you got to believe a single shit that I say. No, you don't have to believe anything. I want you to be a critical thinker and think on your own. That's what I'm trying to birth here. Critical thinkers. But the way I've always understood raza, to me, has been the right definition. You could ask your parents' generation if they're Mexican. You could ask their parents' generation, your grandparents, and see what they say. 10 out of 10 will tell you that. And I don't even like the word Latin. I'll tell you that. Because to me, do you know where the word Latin comes from? Let me take this off right now. We're going to get into it now. No estamos calentados a la chingada, man. Here we go. I just seen something come across my feed. It said Raider Tommy. It says, pray for your boy having chest and stomach pains. I'm checking the heart. Fuck congestive heart failure. In the name of Jesus, Lord, I break congestive heart failure on Raider Tommy now. It is broken in the name of Jesus because God is good and his mercy endures forever. I break and rebuke that on Raider Tommy in Jesus' name. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's not get into it. Just something that people don't even know. Latino. Mikey, why you downplay the word Latino? I'm not downplaying the word Latino. Do you know where the word Latino comes from, first of all? Here we go. We're gonna learn something tonight, gente. And I learned with you guys. I've learned more on YouTube than all those years behind the walls, or even Bible school, or my own studies, which wasn't a lot. I did a little bit. I went to accounting, trade school accounting, some community college. I took a photography class for like 6 months. That's all the college I ever had. But this is why I take umbrage with the word Latino. There are words like the word Latino that they've gotten, which are real bona fide words in the world. They're real words, but they get applied out of context. Here we go. Latin. Latin originated in the Latium region of Italy, specifically around the lower Tiber River, and was spoken by the Latins, an Italic people who were part of the larger Indo-European language family. Here we go. The language emerged in Latium region where Rome is located. So wait a second, Mikey. I thought Latinos were Salvadorans. I thought Latinos were South Americans. I thought Latinos were Central Americans. Mikey, I thought I was a Latino. Matter of fact, your boy's going to end up going to the Latino Summit at the White House. Shout out to Karina Powers. I got the phone call the other day. Yeah. I'm going to end up going to the Latino Summit. I'll do a whole video on that, right? And of course, we're vlogging that whole trip. Why do I take umbrage when someone calls me a Latino? Because I'm not from Italy. I'm not from an Italian region. And I'm not from Rome. Well, I mean, the DNA is coming back, gente. We'll find out in about 3 weeks, right? You never know what your boy got inside of him, right? For sure, there's some Spanish inside your boy. That's for sure. But for sure, there's also going to be some indigenous to the Americas. Okay. So that is why I take umbrage. When did the word Latino all of a sudden become a dragnet for anyone born on Western continents that got a little bit of melanin in their skin? When? I'll hold. I think it's too deep. That one went right over your heads. That one is too deep. They don't want to know about the word Latino because, again, then people are going to say, well, Mikey, you're just pushing this Chicanismo, brown supremacy. Am I? No, I'm not. Matter of fact, I've had that criticism that I'm pushing some kind of brown supremacy. And then I've had the opposite criticism that I'm not brown enough. It's like I'm not brown enough for the brown people and I'm too brown for the gabachos. So guess what? Unapologetically, Mikey's going to be Mikey. But for damn sure, I just know that I'm not a Latino because I'm not a Roman and I'm not Italian, at least up until now, right? We'll wait till the DNA gets here. Then we'll move it on right here. Now, let me acknowledge some comments, man. I don't want to let the comments go by without too much. Robert Lucero, that's right, my boy. I appreciate you. Droop says he put that microphone in there himself. He's talking about Adam22, the 22ster. That dude is softer. He is softer than a bag of pan bimbo wing. That dude will fold and tell on everyone, and he's loving the attention. This Rico with Big U is going to be trending for at least a couple months, man. And then Brick Baby, if he gets out, he'll have his story. Loose Lips, if he gets out, he'll have his story, etc. What blows me away is that snitching is becoming the new normal on the internet. For some reason, people want to tell you, and I saw it when I came on the internet, I'm like, why are these babosos sitting there telling the camera everything? The biggest pendejo that did that was Gunther, the runner. Now they got all those clips and they threw it right at his face, right? This is more Chicano Street TV stuff, but at one point, everyone got along on the YouTube yarda. Everyone. You didn't have to like somebody, but everyone got along. But you know what happened? When all of a sudden people started pointing out paperwork, People started pointing out snitch allegations. People started pointing out, hey, that motherfucker was PC. All of a sudden, not everyone, but those main ones got into defense mode. That was not me. That's not me. Too late, pendejo. You already said too much on the internet, baboso. You can't take none of that back. It's a wrap. It's over. The rest of your life, your best friend is going to be your webcam and your computer because it's a wrap. But anyways, and where's my 10 G's that you owe me, pussy? Excuse my language. I still want my 10 G's back. Pendejo. Back that you owe me. Big U. It's the new nickname on the internet is 212 Jedi is Big Telling on You. That's the new nickname. Big Telling on You. But anyways, all right, let's keep it moving at this. People didn't want to hear about that Latino. Here's something that came across my feed. Oh, President Scheinbaum. Here we go. President Scheinbaum. People think that I have something toward President Scheinbaum or something like that. No, because I said that the cartels run Mexico. It's the truth. I just had a birthday party this Sunday. If you want to see the live of the birthday party, I was on the plancha slinging it. Some familia, some primos came over. We're chopping it up. I don't put them on camera, but I'm talking to them. Go to Chicano Street TV, and there you can see the live at the barbecue this Sunday. But I had some familia come over, and people start talking about what's going on, trending. Politics sometimes becomes a topic. And I was talking with one of my tios, my Uncle Manuel, and I was telling him, I said, Tio, what's a shame is that this new president is just doing exactly what the other presidents did. They want to stay alive. Ain't no one want to be the first president or another political high-ranking position person to get unalived in Mexico. She doesn't want to do that. When they told her about the cartel camps that the hater world just posted a story today about, cabron, you're like a week late. Shout out to the hater world. She said, yeah, we'll look into it, but how come no president will eradicate the problem? Because the cartels are the government in Mexico. And people get offended. And someone at the birthday party, I'm not going to say who, but someone said, oh, no, she's going to do it. She's going to do it. Really? You think President Claudia Sheinbaum is going to be the only and first president to have the cajones to get the military to clean up the cartel? She'll disappear. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's the truth. She'll disappear. And I told that person, I'll put money on it. Weeks and weeks and months will go by, and then it'll fade away, and no one wants to hear about the cartel, Jalisco Nueva Generación camp, and the 3 ovens. There's over 120,000 missing persons in Mexico. They find a camp with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pairs of shoes. And Claudia Sheinbaum's like, we'll look into it. That's cute. But here's something else that she said that is also cute. Here, check it out. Claudia Sheinbaum announced that she will seek to promote classical music, putting an end to narco corridos. Well, that's not a narco corrido, but you know what I mean, right? She says she wants to put an end to narco corridos in the U.S. I'm going to say exactly what Liam Neeson said on the movie. No, they said to him on the movie Taken Part 1. What did the cabron tell him on the phone when he kidnapped his daughter and the daughter's friend over there in Bulgaria or wherever the hell they were at? Good luck. It's not going to happen. It's a great sentiment. Hey, let's stop all the narco corridos. It's a great sentiment, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So again, she's going to follow suit. She's going to make her cameos. She's going to make her appearances. She's very intellectual. Oh, just like 43 and 44 was the president, right? The one that was, you know, he was half Gabacho because his mom was a Gabacha. The mom was a Gabacha, right? And the dad was, I forgot where. But anyways, 43, the 43rd and the 44th president, right? He won 2 terms. Very intellectual, articulate in what they say, very charismatic. And the charisma of the person, the charismatic energy that they give, makes you and I believe they're the right person for the job. Charisma attracts you. Charisma is a frequency. Charisma is an energy. When you give that, it's like having command presence. It's an energy. When someone is vibrating at the higher frequency, people are attracted to them. They're the showstopper. They stop in the room. You know, it's kind of like if you see an attractive woman that's very confident that stares in the room. Well, aquí viene una cuachalota that comes in the room before her. And what does a cuachalota get? No attention. No, nadie la va a pelar, ¿verdad? But then here comes an attractive, charismatic woman. And all of a sudden, at all times, you know where she's at in the room. That's that charismatic energy. Claudia Sheinbaum is very charismatic. Great intentions, but I'm sorry, gente. I'm sorry. She's just another puppet. She's not going to do nothing for the Mexican people. I know there's some people that blog about her all the time. Claudia Sheinbaum versus Trump. Claudia, they just spend their whole blogs about it. The reason I don't spend my whole blog or podcast talking about politics, well, for one, it doesn't consume my life, gente. I believe I have the power to make my life what I want to make of it. I've been in low, bad situations with my back against the wall, situations that I didn't think I was going to come home from, or situations where, say, you have a pinche pistola and it jams, and you're like, I know that was God. So I'm not persuaded by politics or anything like that. I said that to say this is that's how I look at things. That's how I look at things. So these puppets that are just going to be on a string, 4 years, someone will do good. And then another cabron will come in another 4 years and undo everything, right? Open the border wide open, give Medi-Cal to everyone. And then we get in debt, and then we get in inflation again. And then we're on a hamster wheel. That's why I don't hang off a cliff on any politician. I don't want you to get persuaded on that, even though I am a member of the RNHA. Yes, I am. I'm a member of the Hispanic Assembly. But still, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. I'm easy. If I were to get into politics, it'd be easy for me to work across the aisle. What you think of me, I don't give a shit what you think of me. I give a shit what my constituents think of me because they voted me into that office, not you. If you can't stand me, like AOC is working with Ana Luna, which is a representative congresswoman. So AOC is a congresswoman from New York. She's working with Ana Paulina Luna, a congresswoman from Florida. Why is someone blue working with someone red? They want to cap the credit card interest rates and some kind of legislation where you and me will get into less debt a huevo, whether you like it or not. That's working across the aisle. That's how I believe we should be. But anyways, let's keep it moving. Claudia Sheinbaum is going to do what she does, cuz. All right, how about this, gente? Don't forget to hit that like. We got 61 people in the comment section. I appreciate you, man. Hit that like. It's the Wednesday night show live on Chicano Tube, live on Chicano Street from Chicano Street Studios. Mi beautiful linda raza. Hit that like one more time. Let's go ahead and talk about this one. Well. What if they told you you couldn't buy certain things with your EBT card? People get upset at that. People actually get upset. They got upset. And this is the internet. Again, it's not the majority consensus. It's not the majority of public opinion. It's just the internet, right? They got into an uproar when someone suggested, hey, How about drug testing be a requirement in order for you to get government funds? How about that? How about drug testing be a requirement in order for you to get cash aid? How about that? How about drug testing be a requirement for you to get EBT food stamps? I don't knock them. I'm a food stamp baby. I remember being in that welfare line that was on Natividad, that now is the new Department of Health on the north side, the health department on the north side, where you get pool permits and inspections and shit like that. I go there every once in a while for an inspection, pool of one of my properties, something, right? I got to pay the yearly permit for the pool or something like that, right? People got upset when they say, hey, require drug testing to get money. Is that a bad thing? Or would that could be the word force, people that are taking advantage of the system to have to come clean? Kind of, right? Other people get upset when someone suggested, hey, why don't they make mandatory paternity test when a child is born? Why not it just be part of the process when parents bring a child into the world? Is there a problem with that? I'm asking the people. I'm asking the chat, man. We got Robert Lucero. We got almost 70 people in the chat. Nick Salas is in the casa. That's right, Cuvole, my boy. Cuvole, right back to you, way. MTP408 says Peso Pluma, way. I know he was on there, but Peso Pluma, what is he, way? He's like, to me, he's like a fucking Edgar. He's nobody, right? But I get it. His music, right? He has that voice that it's like his voice hit puberty and never came out of it. Like he went into puberty with his voice and it just never developed. But then some people swear he's the best singer in the world. Hey, to each his own, right? What about paternity testing when a baby's born? Guess what? It'll solve a lot of legal problems down the road. I wouldn't mind it. It's just they don't tell you. It's part of the process. You have to sign off on it. They'll explain it as part of the admission paperwork to get to the hospital to have a baby. And it's just one more page that you get in your little packet of what to do with your baby when you get home and how to take care of your baby. I don't see nothing wrong with a paternity test when the child's born. But could some people see something wrong with it? Could it be uncovering some parents? Well, again, mostly the fathers, right? Because unless it's a surrogate mother, she knows that's her baby. Let's not be pendejos, right? Let's not be pendejos. What makes sense makes sense. But could it uncover more fathers that aren't the actual father to the child? And all of a sudden that leads to a drama, scandalo at the birth at the hospital. I was gonna say birthing place, at the hospital, etc. I don't know. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this. New Texas bill would ban people from using SNAP, which I believe is an EBT. I think EBT is just a California term for welfare, right? That's right, St. Cal. That's right, my boy. I appreciate you, Miss Gangsta Piggy. Yes. Okay, you like that? You like the paternity testing or the drug testing? Or maybe you like both. I appreciate you. Estilo Delfino. How do we bypass bad parenting? Do we test and attribute the children? How do we bypass bad parenting? Damn, that's crazy. Again, that CPS system, Estilo Delfino, is broken, bro. Look at Gabriel Fernandez, way. I don't want to digress. I'll get back to this right now, but let me just talk about that since you brought it up, Estilo Delfino. Look at Gabriel Fernandez, man. The system failed that young boy, man. That young boy was tortured. That young boy had broken ribs. That young boy had bruises all over his body. And what did the system do? They kept giving him back to his parents and ignoring it and ignoring it and ignoring it, man. That's how I know the system's broken. That case should have been the first and the last case to revamp the whole CPS system. But what happened? What happened? Nothing has happened. Not a damn thing has happened to that system. So bad parenting, get the child out of that environment. It reminds me of this series that I'm watching on Netflix, gente. Trip out on this series. It's a new one called, it's on Netflix. It's called On Call. That's a good one. On Call. It's about, it's like a police. It's like a SWAT kind of shit. But it's about this female officer who's like a supervisor, right? And I don't want to spoil it all, but a lot of stuff goes on her watch. She's training a lot of people. People pass away under her watch. She's stressed out. She's talking to shot callers. She gets into it with gangs. It's only one season. Matter of fact, after this, I'm going to go and watch the latest episode. Me and my daughter, Kristen, we've been binge watching it. Well, again, there's only 6 episodes. We've been watching it back to back to back. It reminds me of that one. I don't even know how I got into that one. Oh, there was a little girl that was in LA. They got a call. They went to a house, but the cops noticed that there was all kinds of extension cords running to the back of the house. They went to the back of the house, and guess what they found? 2 pieces of shit with a little 10-year-old girl tied to a chair. How do you get children away from bad parenting? Remove them from the situation. But don't take forever to do it, man. What do you need? The child to be chalked on the ground, laying dead, for you to do something about it? Do something about it, man. Anyways. Okay, let's get back to this. Here we go. All right. New Texas bill would ban people from using EBT. Let's call it what California calls it. Benefits to buy junk food. Should they do this in California? The food community says. Let me also say this. Chronic disease is one of the biggest killers of the raza, along with diabetes, along with cancer, along with congestive heart failure. Heart failure in general is one of the biggest killers of the raza. Do you wonder why when I posted that clip on CCOT, they give them the same food to eat every day? You know what they give them as CCOT? And this is what they actually said on the article, on the video. We give them 100% carbohydrates. Shit. Ultra processed. This gas station right here, if you were to get everything in this gas station and break it down to the molecule of what the hell is inside all this shit at the gas station, you know what you'd be left with? 100% ultra processed crap, powder, and sugar. That's it. That's your ho-hos. That's your Twinkies. That's your Ruffles. That's your Lay's. That's your Cheez-Its. For all the cereals that have dye, gente, the Crunch Berries that are red and yellow, that's red ink you're eating. The chocolate Cocoa Pebbles, that's brown ink that you're eating. I want Miss Chicano Tube to come on a show pretty soon because she'll let you know. She's part of the reason I have a 6-pack, and I don't even want a 6-pack, but I have a 6-pack because we're on a keto diet, and she's very holistic. Miss Chicano Tube is into holistic. She's into clean eating. She's into natural healing. She's into frequencies, vibrations, all of that stuff, on top of being the highest costing photographer in Monterey County, right? It costs bands just to talk to her and sit down on the couch to talk about your event. I want to bring her on so we could do something like this. This is all garbage. I agree with what they're doing. We shouldn't be able to go anywhere and do anything with free money from the government. Now, it's free money from the government, but we know who's giving the money, the taxpayers. I mean, I hope I didn't shock you. when I said that, but taxpayer money is what funds welfare. That's what funds Medi-Cal. That's what funds cash aid. That's what funds EBT. So I said this when this administration changed on January 20th. Now we have the 47th president of the United States. He initiated, installed into his cabinet RFK, who did some shocking thing, was the Democrat. He left the Democrats, when his whole family are Democrats. He left the Democratic Party. I said this. I said, gente, don't be mad or surprised when RFK takes office and if he bans GMOs. If he bans artificial products. If the shelves are less and less full of junk, garbage, shit that causes congestive heart failure, shit that causes coágulos en tus venas and causes strokes, shit that causes rickets, bone diseases, us to get early arthritis, diabetes. It's been known, it's a matter of fact that over 90% of that is our diet. And maybe 10% of that is our environments. I don't want to get too much into it, but I actually think this summer I'm going to start doing some workout videos. I actually want to do a little exhibition with Cholo Trucker down there at Coach Art's gym in his boxing ring. We got a couple things planned, but to me, this is a good thing. Just like as if they said, hey, let's drug test before we give free money. Why not? Is there a problem with drug testing? I don't know. But anyways, demons in the casa. That's right, my boy. Chingaderas. That's right, man. I'm cool. Let's not people get fat and shit. Pinche chingaderas, man. But anyways, he says he's cool with people getting that. Again, I don't want to get into that system. I don't want to get into that, cabron, because we'll stay there all day, cabron. Here we go. Let's keep it pushing. All right. Something else that came across my feed, and then we're going to wrap this up at 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock. Let's wrap it up. Here it is. We're going to wrap it up with this, gente. Told you we're going to talk about VinnyJim. Shout out to VinnyJim, man. Shout out to Hood Stocks, first of all. There was a couple reactions that I saw over there on Chicano Street TV. If you want to get the palomitas, Mikey talking shit, Mikey dropping names, and all that other stuff, I created a channel just for that, man. Just for that. So that way the pendejos can come after me on Chicano Street TV, and we leave this for more substantial plática that's more, substantial, educated. We got the town hall. We got trending topics, politics, everything that we talk to here, the real shit. But let's talk about this right here. It says East LA Factor. Shout out to Hood Stocks. Hood Stocks just had VinnyJim. VinnyJim is a rapper who is Chicano. Doesn't want to be called a Chicano rapper. We'll talk about that right now. This is how we're going to end the show, gente. He did 10 plus. I believe he did 10 plus. Not that that's anything. I mean, whatever people get value out of that. It's a California thing. In no other state will you come out of a correctional facility, abandon your family, leave your family with nothing, barely getting by, and come out and steal your friends first, your gang, your neighborhood first, before your family, be willing to throw it all away again and abandon your family again and stick your chest out and act like a tough guy. That only happens in California. I'm doing my best here on Chicano 2. I'm doing my best to break that stigma, to break it. That way we can see those pendejos that want to talk tough, come on the internet, have some tattoos, and misguide the people. This is what I said, man. I don't want the people to get fooled by these fake OGs on the internet. If it was a real OG, he's not going to say he's from a neighborhood. If he was a real OG, he would denounce the gang life. If he was a real OG, he would say stopping gang banging was the best decision he ever made in his life. If he was a real OG, he wouldn't want you to try to get in the hood. He would try to persuade you to stay out of the hood. But now we got fake OGs on the internet. Well, I don't fuck with him, and I'm this and I'm that, and I'm still from my neighborhood, and I'm good, and I'm in my city, and I'm up. All this other bullshit that we can see through. We can see you still want to be on the fence. You still want to be that tough guy. The sad part about it is you're almost 50, or maybe you're over 50 years old, and you're still trying to seek validation from people. You're almost 50 or over 50 years old, and you still want to get respect from people. You're an easy pump-up case, and the trolls get you stirred up, and it is what it is. All right, let's go back to hood stocks. None of that, what I said, is hood stocks. I like hood stocks. I'm subscribed to hood stocks because I believe Lucky is very authentic, man. I believe that's why they got over 200,000 subscribers, right? So here we go. East LA Factor. Shout out to East Los. VinnyJim gets at Miss Lady Pinks for trying to hate on all the upcoming Raza rappers. He says his homegirl, shout out to Loca from Boyle Heights, can run. That was a half H. There's the full H. He says his homegirl Loca can run her fade if she feels some type of way, and Vinny is willing to run it with Mr. Capone. Now, first of all, I want to say this. Most Chicano rappers can't rap for shit. I myself don't like Chicano rap. What is Chicano rap? If you don't know what Chicano rap, it's Chicano rap is what I call bald head loc rap. Is back in the 90s where they were rapping over oldies and zapping Roger beats. That's all. That's it, right? And I believe it's a liability. That's why concert promoters are like, hell no. Every time we want, we want to invite these guys over to do a concert, there's an issue. There's a problem. There's a junta. Someone is getting packed out like Jenny 6ix9ine. And a video shoot gets jumped on by Miss Lady Pinks. This is where she got her notoriety. And some people are saying this before we play the video. We're gonna play the video right now, the Hood Stocks video. Shout out to Lucky. Some people are saying she's clout chasing. That Miss Lady Pinks is clout chasing. I don't know it to be true. If she has multiple businesses and Miss Lady Pinks is successful and the money's coming in, there's no reason to clout chase. Now, it could also be that she's like a tia that is trying to tell the youngsters to act Chicano. I said this on my last live, and I made a short about it, a clip about it, that the Mexicanos, or anyone that I guess identifies, right? Most of these Chicano rappers are not Mexican. They're not Chicanos. Mr. Capone, he's not a Chicano. Mr. Criminal, even though he told and snitched and he's been excommunicated, he's not a Chicano. Do I need to tell you what countries they're from? This one's going to get some people mad. Here we go. Get ready to get mad. Get ready. Trigger alert. Trigger warning. Here we go. Lefty Gunplay. Lefty Gunplay is not a Chicano. He's a Gabacho. But I get it. I get it. He's blasted up. He's in California. A little bit of melanin in him. Okay, I get it. But I'm not going to argue that, right? Most of your Chicano rappers that you call Chicano rappers aren't Chicano. But I don't think that's the case with Miss Lady Pinks. I said that having gold teeth, platinum teeth, I don't care if each tooth costs the fucking price of a boat, of a yacht. I said that's not the Mexican culture. That's not the Chicano culture. I said that so I know where Miss Lady Pinks is coming from. I get it. The culture is getting so watered down that pretty soon it'll get so watered down that it's just going to be 1/10 of what it ever was to its truest form. It's going to get watered and watered and watered and watered. Look at, they're calling non-Chicanos Chicanos already. How much more water do you want? This is like those pinchy pancakes. Just add water. Fake pancakes. Just kidding. Real pancakes, leche. Don't forget to mix some butter in that, cabrones. That's the flavor. So most of them aren't Chicano. I know where Miss Lady Pinks is coming from, and I know where VinnyJim is coming from too. So let's play the clip. Here we go.
Bitch's name?
Cardi B.
No, not Cardi B.
Chicana
bitch.
Oh, a Chicano rapper?
A Chicano rapper trying to say like, oh, put your shirt on or some shit. Well, the remember the video I did for you?
Okay.
Said, put your shirt on.
Who said that? What rapper?
Who's that? Oh yeah, Lady Pinks. That stupid ass bitch. She tried to say that shit and I was like, bitch, so what? I'll be with my shirt off. I don't give a fuck. Like, bitch, I'm a gangster. Or she tried to say like, oh, put your shirt on. And what's up with those shoes? Because I had the 11s, the red, the cherry red.
Oh yeah.
Jordans.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, I have Loca run that fade. Run it.
Right?
That's cracking.
Yeah.
Like, we could run it out. You run it with Loca, I'll run it with Capone. What's up?
Sheesh.
Get it. One-on-one.
Why, are they from the same hood?
Nah, but he backs her up a lot.
Oh, he backs her up?
Yeah, he backs her up a lot. But
yeah.
I mean, to me, it's like Capone is like I give him his respect for, that he's still around. He's making his paper.
Yeah.
It's like, nigga, you ain't no gangster.
Yeah.
Okay, another thing that Miss Lady Pinks and I agree on, I want to be fair in this analogy, is that the N-word. I also take umbrage with youngsters using the N-word, but people will say, you're an unk, you're an older head, you're from another generation. Yeah, my generation, if you were at the house party and you said the N-word, the house party stops right there. And everyone's looking at you. Because that's for one, it's disrespectful, and two, that's not our culture. So I can see where Lady Pinks is coming from. So again, is she going in the comment section saying these things for clout? Because a manager is saying, hey, you got to stay in the headlines in order for you to be relevant, Pinks. So you got to stir it up, because she's gone into it with VinnyJim. She's gone into it with Chito Ranas. I mean, and that's just in the last couple weeks. Some people will say, well, if you're really from the old school, why are you even in the comment section net banging in the first place? I see where that is true, too. All right, let's go to the next clip.
What the bro?
Nah, she got to run it with my homegirl first.
Okay, do you think she's cute? Do you think she's pretty?
I think she look like a lady man.
A lady man?
I think she like before you see them
like
lady man.
Something?
Yeah, she like I'm just saying the truth, girl.
Like a chick with a dick is what you're saying?
You can say I look fat and I look like Uncle Fester or whatever the fuck you want to say, like the shit you've been trolling with. Bitch, you look like a man. You look like a man that got her body done trying to look like a bitch. With all due respect.
And with all due respect. It's just funny. You'll disrespect someone and call him a B. Well, that's a strong word, man. I mean, he could have said anything, and then he said something about running trains and all this other stuff. Again, I get it. He doesn't want to identify as a Chicano rapper because even Lucky goes on to say Chicano rap is trash. Now, I just know it is because I don't have any CDs. That's how old I am. Of Chicano rap, because the only one I ever did have, I told this to Tony A one time on the phone. Shout out to Tony A. Shout out to Tony A, the wizard. I told this that the only Chicano rap CD I ever had was because he mentioned on the phone on hey, how you said Chicano rap you don't like. Well, yeah, I don't even think that's our genre of music. I think we're visitors in the rap game. Look at the brothers. The brothers will run laps around us. I mean, just embarrass and clown us if they wanted to, right? Just look at those verses, right? Like Jada Kiss, when they did the D Block and the Diplomats, when they did that verses. Whew, man, That was one of the most viewed verses. Remember, during the quarantine days and shit. That was one of the best verses. Again, we're visitors, but he doesn't want to, VinnyJim, be identified as a Chicano rapper. He just wants to be identified as a rapper who is a Chicano. That's it. Enough of that, man. Let's go ahead and go to the comment section. Let me see what you guys say before we go. Damn, Robert Lucero says, it was the solvents. Wow. Is that what you ended up finding out, Wade? It boiled down to that? That's crazy, man. People are getting upset that they want to ban hot Cheetos, Wade. But imagine how could you give a bag of hot Cheetos to your child knowing it causes cancer? What kind of parent does that? Well, Mikey is not proving it. No, what you're doing is going with the consensus. You're going with the flow. You're going with what you want to hear. You're shutting your ear off to the truth. The doctors that are telling us the truth, they're all banned from the internet. Well, that might change now. I mean, we're under a different administration. There's been a lot less censorship on IG since Zuck woke up, and on Facebook. There's been a lot less censorship. Even though I got 2 strikes on TikTok, that might go away. I'm gonna have to start from zero. Maybe not even start the TikTok again. It was crazy. I got to 10,000 like in a year. That was crazy over there. But I'm just posting the clips that are like today's clips. Imagine, how could you say you love your child, man? And you're making them a pre-diabetic, and they're children. You see your son, your daughter, and they look like a fucking miniature Michelin man, and you don't care. You're still buying them 20-piece nuggets. Parents, we got to wake up, man. It's not about the flavor of what we eat. You got to think about it like this. Everything that you eat is either going to help you or hurt you. If it's too big of a struggle for you to get on that health journey, it's one meal at a time, man. It's one workout at a time. That's why I think this summer I'm going to do some workout videos. And at the same time I do some workout videos, I think I'm going to talk about my diet, my nutrition, on what I do, on how we've done completely away in my household with Miss Chicano Tube. No more plastics over here. No more microwaves over here. We drink out of glass bottles over here. And we eat the same foods over here that are delicious. Delicious foods. I'll tell you about that when we get to the workout videos, cabrones. MTP408, he says, yeah, Capone's from Pakistan. I mean, you're telling the truth. But again, it's just gotten so watered down. Maybe that's what Lady Pinks is trying to stop. Is let there still be a pure form of Chicanismo. Of Chicanos that are proud to be brown, proud to be Mexican, not say the N-word, not get gold teeth or platinum teeth, all kinds of chains, and just, I mean, the accents, right? I'm trying to offend anyone, but this is the absolute truth. You can tell when someone is talking like another culture and not Mexican. Now, it's funny, like, what's Mexican? Well, I mean, it's really not Mexican. It's kind of like how if you have a Mexican accent because you come from Mexico, you were born over there, then you sound Mexican. But there's distinct, like down south lingo. There's distinct lingo that's just not Mexican. So again, older head, whatever they want to do, that's their life. They're going to do what they're going to do. But here on Chicano Street, here on Chicano Tube, we're going to give it to you uncut, no watered down. It's Chicanos hasta la pinche tumba, cabrones. All right, last comments of the night, and then we wrap it up. Chingadera said granola bars and peanut butter. The best, well, granola bars, depending what's inside of it, man. The most expensive stuff is natural. I just ordered some lotion, gente, 30 bolas, $30, and it's 8 ounces of lotion. The name of it is called, here, I'll go to my Amazon. It's 99% natural and it's 20% organic. It's called Brickell, Brickell. It's Brickell lotion. The reason is, first of all, when lotions have fragrances inside of them, that's chemicals. Most lotions have parabens. Most lotions have sulfur. Most lotions have metal, just like the baby formula. A lot of people don't know that. And to the mothers, imagine giving your baby a baby formula. I don't want to put the label out there, but you do the research, mothers. Imagine giving your baby formula, and there's enough metal in that formula container to make a quarter, a silver dollar. The lotion is something that we absorb in our skins, gente. Absorbing in our skins goes all the way down to our nervous system, deep down, and affects our very core. And so I always used to get the Vaseline, the green lotion that smelled like cucumber lemon or something like that. It was a really good spinchy smell. But one time when I was getting my cover-up session right here, or one of these, right? I'm starting the chest next month. I'm not looking forward to it. I just got to be honest, but I'm starting the chest. She told me you got to get fragrance-free, all-natural lotion. I don't want any of those chemicals mixing in with my ink. And that's what made me think, well, shit, I'm putting these chemicals on my body every day? I mean, I don't do that much all over the body. You know, some people fucking go crazy with the lotion, and it's like from head to toe. That's absorbing in my skin every day? Chale tamale, way. That's not happening. So even on that, cabron. But as far as peanut butter, it's gonna have to be. I have to read those ingredients. It's gonna be $20 peanut butter away because it has to be organic. It has to be real peanut butter, man. And it's crazy because you do have to sacrifice the flavor. What keeps my sanity is vacations, birthday parties. Like this Sunday, I hadn't had a drop of alcohol from this Sunday, the 23rd, to New Year's. How many weeks is that? The last drink I had was on New Year's to March 23rd. Just trying to help my liver out, gente. But anyways, let's keep it going. She's Blackie Fontana's ex-girl. Oh, you're talking about Miss Lady Pinks. False. The Africanos hide behind the mastery of the English language, yet our raza rappers master 2 languages. All hold. Okay, that's right, cabron. I would keep it simple, way. I would keep it simple and just be like, let's just go song for song. Go song for song, go bar for bar, go album for album. And we're not going to go far away. I mean, we're not going to make it. I mean, who do we got that's really made it to mainstream way? We got Baby Bash. Baby Bash made it to mainstream. And he always tours with Little Rob, who's a Chicano rapper, and I believe he is a Chicano. He always tours. Baby Bash can hold his own concerts. Why does he go with a Chicano rapper? I think they're just boys. They're really, really tight. But, I mean, look at his style. He's not trying to copy someone else, the bald head loc rap. Again, if you go song for song and album for album, we're in the dust, cabron. We're in the dust. Man on Fire says, got to rewire the brain. Absolutely. You know, especially when it comes to racism, we got to rewire the brain, man. I mean, racism, the way I understand it, right? We got to rewire the brain to see someone's skin color. Because that's what Morgan Freeman said. How do you end racism? He says, stop talking about it. That's how you end racism. You stop talking about it. It's that started really back in the 1700s. When they started coming up with class systems and then slavery, right? It's just the güeros that migrate. A lot of people think Africa is the Holy Land. I don't know if you heard this or not. We're going to wrap it up like this. I don't want to get too deep on y'all, but a lot of people think Africa is the Holy Land. A lot of people say that what the Bible took place and everything that transpired in the Middle East, Jerusalem and all of that, actually happened in Africa. And a lot of people say that the Africanos, the most melanated people on planet Earth, are the original people. And then a lot of people believe that as people migrated away, because remember, Africa is on that equator. That equator is where the most hottest sun that produce UV rays is on planet Earth. It's right there. So, you know, the pineal gland that's up here in our brain, it's actually the first organ that can be seen on an ultrasound when they do the ultrasound for the babies. You only see the little baby that's clear and transparent, and you see a little dot on his brain. It's called the pineal gland. The pineal gland in the head, that's what releases melanin. Melanin, the more melanin you have, right? It depends the darker the skin tone. The less you have, the lighter the skin tone. Well, they say that black and white is really an adaptation to the climate. That's how it started. This is what I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? They say black and white is really an adaptation to the sun. And they say that the first people, again, some people say Africa was the center of everything. And then I heard someone say that Utah was the center of anything, of everything. So people moved away from Africa, moved away from that hot area where they needed to have a high amount of melanin in order not to get melatonia, which is skin cancer. So it's a natural, right? In their bodies, they're darker skin because they have darker UV rays hitting them every single day. And they actually have a stronger genetic because of that. But it's funny because the people that moved away from Africa, they moved to the northern parts of Europe, are the whitest people because the sun is not hot over there. Yet they don't have to, so they don't have to produce that much melanin, so they don't have that much color. But it's funny because they actually have higher amounts of vitamin D in their system than the Africanos do. That's just the body and how it's working and how it's made out and is what it is. But they say the darker skin tones, again, I say that to say this, is an adaptation to the sun. But then somewhere along the line in the 16th or 17th century, classism. They started making social classes. And when the Americanos and then the Inglaterros, you know, created slavery, they looked at that's where the term white came from. And that's where the term black came from. When all the skin colors are an adaptation to the sun. So what we got to do is stop looking at that bullshit, white, black, brown. You just got a little bit more melanin in your skin. Stop looking at that and start treating each other equal. That's all we have to do. But there's classism. There's that. Again, I don't want to go too much down that rabbit hole, but let's go back. What's false? That's right, cabrón. We were talking about that Chicano rappers are better than Africano rappers. I think that's what they're talking about is false in the chat. I'm not sure. He says, no, we send our money to Israel. That's right, cabrón. A lot of people say the Jews of today that are in Israel aren't the real Jews. I'm watching on Amazon another series I'm just recommending a lot, right? On Call. On Call is on Netflix. That's a good one. That's about police. That's rocking and rolling. That's happening in Long Beach. That's a good one. Another one that I'm watching is The House of David. I'm going to wrap it up with this one. Damn, we're already past 9 o'clock. I'm watching The House of David. Look at The House of David on Amazon. All of the characters, even King David, King Saul, Samuel the prophet, all of them look like Arabians. But then again, wait a second. It makes you think, right? Wait a second. The Arabians, modern day Arabians, los Árabes today in the region of Arabia look like that. So should it be a surprise that King David in the pinche series, The House of David, that he looks like an Árabe? No. All it is maybe Western civilization's portrayal of, just like Jesus. They make Jesus whiter than Snow White. But do I think Jesus, the Lord Almighty, with respect, do I think that he's a gabacho white? Absolutely not. Come on. Jesus of Nazareth. They spoke Aramaic. Absolutely, he was brown skin. Why don't they paint Jesus brown skin? Maybe that's an agenda of some people to spread gavachoism. I don't know. There are better groups than Latino Velvet that did their thing. That's right. Kike de Escondido. I see you, my boy. Like who? No, we're just talking about Capone, VinnyJim, etc. I said that I had Spanish Fly CD. That's the only Chicano rap CD I had in the 90s, okay? And, of course, I grew up in Salinas, and it has its notoriety for what it has its notoriety. Members only shit. My members know what's up. And I don't give a shit. I told Tony, I was bumping that thing. That thing was saying Sur 13 Califas. I didn't care. You know what I mean? And none of my partners would say shit about it because, well, that's not really our problem. You know, we're in Northern California. We had different problems up here up until the late 90s, right? So I didn't give a shit. They were rapping over oldies. I thought it was cool. You know what I mean? They were rapping over Zapp and Roger beats. I thought that was cool too. But do I think any of those Spanish Fly rappers or any Chicano rapper today can go toe-to-toe with like a Too Short, a Snoop Dogg, an E40, a Selsky, a Sibo, a Juice, a RBL Posse, or you name it? Shit, wait. I'll leave that up to you guys. I think I'm getting people mad, man. I'm getting people mad. The Mexicans, G-Fellow, Psycho Realm, Brownside, CLS. That's right, my boy. That's right. To protect them better. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of research people could do on just melanin, but a lot of people don't know that it's an adaptation to the sun. That's all it is, gente. But a lot of people do believe Africa was the beginning of all civilization. The only thing that loses me is when I start researching things, and, you know, I study in my time, the Bible and other things as well, too. When some of these philosophies says, well, they don't believe in Adam and Eve. They don't believe in the Bible. And to each his own. I respect it, right? I believe in the Bible wholeheartedly. You're not going to move me, right? That they believe that there's 4 types of people, that the celluloids and the mongoloids, and they were saying that the raza indígena, that people of brown skin and browner tones, that we came from the people at the beginning of time called the mongoloids. And I'm like, chinga tu madre, tu abuela era una mongolita, cabrón. The mongoloids. Adam and Eve is where it all started. But pretty much God wiped them all away because they had sinned, even the fallen angels, the Nephilim, and all that stuff, which I know is another popular topic. I'm going to wait for a Bible talk to bring all that up. That way I can have someone sitting across from me that we're both loaded up with clips, and we'll shoot the Nephilim at you. But basically, we all came from Noah and Noah's sons, because that's the only cabrones that were alive after the flood. Yes, it was Adam and Eve in the beginning, but don't forget, we really come from Noah, because after the flood, all that was left was Noah and his family, and then the animales, right? All right, let me go. Slow Pain was cool. Oh, yeah, I remember that one rolla. What was it? It was on the radio. He had a radio jam. It's cool. Human adaptation is a modern marvel. I'd compare to an octopus species. Okay, that's right, cabron. That's right. R.I.P. Little Savage. Damn, is that someone we lost to the streets, cabron? Chingado. And I'm just looking at the screen. I'm just shooting the shit, looking at the comments over here. It's a 65-inch monitor that I got the comments on. That's righteous. That's right, my boy. Robert sees in the casa. He says, the earth is spinning slowly. The black got darker. The Asian were looking at the sun. And the white were in cave in the snow, and the Native American had the shade and were brown. That pretty much sums up adaptation way. People are in the sun. They need high melanin levels. And so they're black, and that's it. But the classism of white, black, and all that, those are just labels on the can. Those are just labels. Whatever label you want to call yourself, that's fine, man. You want to call yourself Chirujo, Latino, whatever you want to, that's fine. I'm not arguing that. But let's at least establish some core understandings, okay? That's how that started. Those are good groups. Listen to Cycle Realm. Yeah, Lucky from Hoodstock keeps talking about Cycle Realm. I don't even know who they are. My bad. Maybe I should hear something. I think I'm going to go on SoundCloud and see if what Cycle Realm's on there. Some raza looks Middle Eastern due to the Muslims conquering Spain for over 500. Absolutely. And then we have people want to not take into consideration that there's been other razas that have settled in Mexico. You don't think Mexico has Russian colonies, Chinese colonies, German colonies? So it'd be rare that someone be 100% pure, but I still do believe there can be 100% pure people. And I also agree with mi hermano Kiawi, who says he wants to preserve the purity of his people. Someone could hear that and take offense to it and be like, oh, no. Everything mixed is beautiful. I'm mixed. He's not offending mixed people. He's speaking his truth, which is he's saying if there is no more pure-blooded people in the world, then the culture is completely watered down at that point. So what's wrong with wanting to keep people pure? I'll hold. I love that's right, Miss Gangsta Piggy. I appreciate you, amiga. Mikey L, don't think I'm taking away from the Latino. Hold on, I'm gonna do something real quick before the live ends. Hold on. Here it is. Give me a second. Hold on. Okay. She said, hell no. You're a Mongolito. Yeah, they said they said that, everything came from Africa. It is probably the evolution story of changos and shit. Tu abuela's un chango. What are you talking about? They said mongoloids, and I'm like, what? Tu abuela's una mongolita. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? That's a deep one. That's right. I don't think there was a flood. He was just traveling. That's interesting. We're going to bring Pastor David Rocha on the podcast and another pastor, Tony Peña, and we're really going to get deep. We'll get into all of the most popular things that you guys want to talk about: the Bible, the flood, fallen angels, creation, divinity of Jesus, the resurrection, early languages, the translations of the Bible, which ones are the most purest translations. I understand all of you guys have those as popular topics, and I think I'm going to create at least quarterly a Bible talk. And hey, tune in, man. At least you're going to learn something that's biblical, that's from the word, because the Bible says heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. That's right, to the other continent. That's right, you guys. Last comments into the night. I seen something like that on IG, YouTube, Google, etc. Everyone is learning from everything except the source, except the manuscript, except reading the Dead Sea Scrolls, except trying to go to the origins of everything. Gente, you guys, I'm out live on Chicano Tube. I appreciate all you guys. Hit that like. Gracias for tuning into the Wednesday night show. I'll see you guys on Friday night. I appreciate everyone. Do me a favor, though. Just hit that like one more time for your boy. Hit that like, man. That's all I ask. The like button, it helps the algorithm out. It lets YouTube know what conversations that you're listening into. That's all I ask, man. We ain't asking for cash apps over here. We ain't asking for Venmos. We ain't raffling anything. We ain't doing 2-for-1s, 3-for-1s. None of that little hustling shit. We just ask that you hit that like button. That's all. And if you're listening on the replay podcast style, shout out to all my nurses, FedEx, UPS, In-N-Out, Home Depot, all my workers in Salinas. I appreciate you. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I'll see YouTube Landia on Friday night. Gente, the Chicano channel, Chicano Tube, Chicano Street. We're out. I appreciate everyone that's in the chat. Robert C, ACB Cain Street, Miss Gangsta Piggy, Richie Lopes, Man on Fire, HCB Chemistry, Kike Escondido, Mikey L, Robert C, Central Cal, all my members only, Machete, Salinas OG, Karina Powers, all the members only. I appreciate you guys. I'm out, but remember what I always say? Remember what I always say. In the end, all you got is the memories. I'll see you on Friday night.